What's going on, YouTubers? It is Friday. I got an update for you on my high risk weekly ETF portfolio. I did miss last week with Black Friday, and it was the worst week we've seen all year since YieldMax has switched to the weekly vice the monthly, and we saw our reverse splits from YieldMax. So safe to say, I will never spend another dollar on a YieldMax ETF. They have a lot going on in a bad way. I'm going to hold what I have and try to get my money back on all the money that I put into this company for their managed assets, and we'll ride it out. We'll bleed this pig dry. So, yep, I'm done with them. I'll hold what I got. And I'll just start stacking everything else around them because I have no confidence at all in YieldMax. So week 49, we started out the week with $62,600 invested. We averaged 47% on the portfolio, brought us in only $566. That's really low. So my big picture plans with this money is slowing down. Huge distributions this week. MST, Defiance. Yes, that is not a typo. 375% distribution. I'm thinking they're in desperation mode right now. They let this ETF dwindle down to like $2. So when will we see a reverse split on this one? We've seen products in the past with Defiance last year that did a reverse split, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to do a reverse split. MSTY, 100% distribution, but the value has gone down. Destructive decay with YieldMax, and this one is actually going to do a reverse split on Monday. So all you people that were just dripping your money back into this, I'm pretty sure you're not smiling anymore. This one was awesome. I made a lot of money. I made all my money back and profit, but I bought it mid last year. So they did great, but like any drug dealer, you know, give them a little taste and then they stick it to you. YBIT, another YieldMax product that actually did a reverse split this week. So, you know, you buy the dip, hoping it's going to come back. When a reverse split happens, you'll never see that money back. It will never grow to what it would have been because YieldMax is failing. And I think they increased some of their cost on us. PLTY, this one came in at 125% distribution. SMCY, 119% distribution. CVNY, 125% distribution. And TSYY, always coming in at 130s. But the NAV has been decaying on this one, unfortunately. So let's get into some of the numbers. Like all bad news. It ain't supposed to get bad news on Friday. It is what it is. The crypto market sucks right now. 40% of my portfolio is crypto related. You win some, you lose some, and definitely learn as you go. 35% distribution for QQQY. This one gave me $4.56. QDTE came in at 56% distribution, $3.08 received. QDTY, this one came in at 32% distribution. I got $1.96 from them. WDTE, 29% distribution, got $2.98. XDTE came in at 37% distribution and $2.18. SDTY, the lowest distributor in the portfolio, only 23% distribution, getting $1.42. IWMY, 40% distribution, $5.50 received. RDTE, 39% distribution, $1.91. RDTY, this one came in at 41% distribution. Excuse me, $2 and just over $2.25. Dang it. That was breakfast. YBTC, this one came in at 34% distribution, $1.59. BCCC came in at 34% distribution, giving us 59 pennies. This is the shitty YieldMax YBIT. It did a reverse split. You got one for every 5 you owned, and it reset all my numbers. So I lost some data. I have the hard data. I'm not going to data mine it and look at the end results because it doesn't matter. They failed. I'll hold on to what I got because I'll never recoup my money. It'll never get up to $65 a share for my all-in costs. So it is what it is. Learn and grow, and bash yield max any opportunity you get. 100% distribution, give me $52.02. YMAX, this one came in at 47% distribution, $2.31 received. YMAG, this one came in at 34% distribution, $2.34 received. Let's effing go, 65% distribution, $15.39. BLOX, the mustache, this one came in at 33% distribution, giving us 65 pennies. They say 36, but my math is 33. GPTY, this one came in at 35% distribution, $2 and a dime received. NVDY, this one came in at 42% distribution, $2.73 pennies. NVII, 73% distribution, $4.39. NVDY, this one came in at 58% distribution, $77.72. I'm thinking that ain't bad. TSLW came in at 54% distribution, $11.91. TSII, this one came in at 66% distribution, $4.35 received. TSYY, they've been struggling. They're down to $6.25 for value, but it did come in at 135% distribution, got $79.12. It was nice when it was $100. Just saying. AAPW, 31% distribution, $2.04 received. COIW, this one came in at 35% distribution, giving us $1.65. COII, 25% distribution, $1.12. CONY, this is another one of the yield max failures. A reverse split. For every 10 shares you had, you only get one. Talk about failure. And Coinbase has been doing pretty good. If you look at the other products from the other companies, they're definitely not as bad as Yield Max. Yield Max sucks. Just saying. My opinion. If you don't like it, hey, that's awesome. $33.93. I am ranting and raving in this one. PLTW, 44% distribution, $3.54 received. PLTY, 125% distribution. I think Yield Max is getting desperate because they're losing a lot of customers. $39.05 received. MAGY, 34% distribution, $2.16. MST, I'm thinking they're going to do a reverse split pretty soon because they're considered a penny stock. They're under $5, $2.20 right now. The worst decay in the portfolio. They surpassed Yield Max, which is a lot of work if you want to be worse than Yield Max. But this one came in at 375% distribution. That's, my math might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Got $14.88 from them. MSII, 30% distribution, got 77 cents. MSTW, 64% distribution, got 65 cents. MSTY, this is another Yield Max failure. This was one of their most popular and most productive ETFs that they have, and they just went downhill, all downhill. They say it's managed. You managed to lose profit, and, well, they're making money off our money, so they're still winning, but they're losing customers, and in the long run, fail. This one came in at 100% distribution, $47.61, and it's going to reverse split on Monday. If you have 5, you only get 1. USOY, this one came in 47% distribution, $16.18. YETH, I want to say yeet every time I see this. This one came in at 59% distribution, $21.79 received. SMCY, 119% distribution, giving us $79 even. Yahoo is completely off. I don't know why. It's a little weird. CVNY, this one came in at 125% distribution. I'm telling you, Yield Max is in desperation mode. we did receive $23.91 with this one. Let's take a look at the data. I did not prep this in advance. I appreciate your patience. So we do got to cover net assets also, because it was the first of the month and the net assets under management are getting scary. Defiance, Round Hill, Yield Max all have a NASDAQ 100, an S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. We like to compare them to see who's given the biggest distribution, because the distribution gives us income, and that's what we like, even though the end result of the distribution gets worse and worse if the value goes down. That's something I should probably track. It's tracked in Yahoo. It's not tracked in my database. So Round Hill takes the NASDAQ 100 category, blowing out the competition by over 20% distribution. Defiance takes the S&P 500. No, excuse me. Round Hill takes the win, over 10% above everybody else, if not more, for S&P 500. And the last one, Yield Max, the Russell 2000, barely beats out Defiance, but a win is a win. Outstanding. The Bitcoin category, Bitcoin's gone to shit. Yield Max, desperation mode, 100% distribution, tripling the competition with Round Hill and Global X. Crypto category, Let's Effing Go and the Mustache. Let's Effing Go almost doubled what the Mustache gave out, and the Mustache has been struggling to keep their value. The NVDA category, Round Hill, Rex, and Yield Max. Rex takes the competition, and this is supposed to be a growth and income, so awesome. Tesla category, Round Hill, Rex, and Granite. Granite blows everybody away constantly. It's pretty awesome, but Granite's NAV decay isn't that great. So Coinbase, Round Hill, Rex, and Yield Max. Yield Max, desperation mode, 126% distribution, quadrupling the competition. So let's see, they're not doing better than the other two. So it is desperation mode, in my opinion. Round Hill, Yield Max, the PLTR category. Yield Max, tripling what Round Hill gave out. Desperation mode, I'm telling you. And the last category, MSTR. Defiance, 375% distribution. What is going on here? Are they giving out the last of the money before they shut this one down because it's at $2.20? Only time will tell. And of course, Yield Max, desperation mode, kicking out 100% distribution. Like I said, the week I missed last week, only 39% distribution from the portfolio. Worst we've ever seen since Yield Max came over to the weeklies and then did the reverse split on us because they suck. Just saying, I will never buy another Yield Max, but I probably will. All right, here is some scary results. Let's blow this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. The assets under management and the expense ratio. Almost everybody has decreased in assets under management. This is the worst we've seen it all year. Look at all the red across the board. The red is if it went down from the previous month. I checked this data the first of every month. Defiance, QQQY, it lost about 4 million in net assets. QDTE, this one lost about 8 million in net assets. QDTY, this one went up. Awesome. Congratulations, because nobody else is. Went up about 3 million in net assets, but their expense ratio increased 0.16%. That's a big increase if you do the math, especially long term. WDTE, this one lost about 3 million in net assets. XDTE lost 0.10 million in net assets. SDTY, it went back up. Congratulations, huge increase. Went from 14 to 17 million in net assets. That's awesome. They did a really good jump. But if they did increase their expense by 0.07, keep an eye on that. IWMY went down about 25 million in net assets. RDTE, they went down about 8 million in net assets. RDTY, this one went down 0.6-ish million in net assets, but a huge increase in expense ratio from 1.01 to 1.73. That is expensive and is the highest cost in the portfolio for the ones we own. There's over 100 weekly ETFs you can purchase. I have 30 something, and this is the most expensive when it comes to expense ratio. So is that something you want to hold on to for long term while they suck you dry? I don't know. You do you. YBTC, this one decreased almost 100 million, 90 million-ish in net assets. That's a lot. They're not doing too good. BCCC, this one lost about 3 million in net assets, but is the cheapest, the least expensive for expense ratio out of the portfolio. YBIT, they lost 27 million in net assets. YMAX lost almost 200 million in net assets. That's a huge loss. YMAG, they lost about 30 million in net assets. And let's effing go. This one lost about 50 million in net assets. BLOX, the mustache. Congratulations, they increased about 5 million in net assets. That's awesome. GPTY, this one decreased about half a million in net assets, we'll say. NVDW, they lost 24 million in net assets. NVII, Rex went up. They're increasing. They went up 6 million in net assets. That's awesome. NVDY, they lost 0.25 billion in net assets. TSLW, they lost 2 million in net assets. TSII, Rex, growing. They increased 5 million in net assets. Outstanding. TSYY, Granite, they're losing. They lost about 80 million in net assets. But their expense ratio did decrease. It went from 1.07 to 0.99. So thank you for that. Makes it a little bit more affordable. AAPW, this one decreased about 5 million in net assets. COIW, they lost 30 million in net assets. COII, they lost almost half, about 4 million net assets. That's not good. CONY dropped out of the billion club. They lost hundreds of millions in net assets. Like, that sucks for them. PLTW, they lost about 50 million in net assets. PLTY, Yield Max, they lost, 60 million, 70 million in net assets. MAGY, they went up. Congratulations, that's awesome. Almost 40 million in net assets. And I have not seen decay. They're maintaining, they're doing good, and they kick out about over 30% distribution. So this is definitely one to watch. I'm liking it. MST, Defiance, the one that has the worst decay in the portfolio. It lost half of its net assets under management. MSII, this one lost about 3 million, a little over 3 million, almost 3 million in net assets. MSTW, they lost about 40 million in net assets. And MSTY, Yield Max, probably was one of the most popular products they had. They lost over $1 billion. Over $1 billion in net assets. Holy fail. They suck at their job. USOY, they lost about 3 million in net assets. Yeet, I want to call it Yeet, I don't know why. YETH, they lost about 50 million in net assets. SMCY, another shitty Yield Max, they lost over 100 million in net assets. And CVNY lost just a little bit, 84 million in net assets. So that's what I got. I look at those. Well, the list starts all over for the new year. Can't wait. New year's going to be great. According to the VP, we're going to see some amazing results in 2026. I look forward to it. But with the crypto being the way it is, If it doesn't grow, my portfolio is going to struggle. It's going to struggle. That's all I got. We'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend.